Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to look in detail at how to improve your ROAS on Google Ads. I'll walk you through everything you need to know step by step so you can follow right along. So we'll start by defining ROAS, then I'll explain why it matters, and then finally we'll go through auditing, restructuring campaigns, improving tracking, adjusting bidding, and optimizing your feeds. Stick with me to the end because we're covering a lot of ground here. So first things first, what is ROAS? So ROAS stands for return on ad spend. It's the most important metric in e-commerce and lead generation because it tells you exactly how much revenue you're making for every dollar you spend on advertising. Let's take a quick little example here, why don't we? So imagine you're spending $100 on ads and you get $200 back as revenue. Your ROAS is 2x. If you spend $1,000 on ads and make $4,000 in revenue, you're at 4x. The higher the ROAS, the better your ads are working. So why is this metric so important? Well, this metric is crucial because ads are not just about clicks or impressions. They're about profit. We want to make sure that the money we spend is bringing in even more money. So if your ROAS are high, it means your ads are generating enough revenue to cover the costs and make a profit. If it's low, say under 1x, you're actually losing money on those campaigns. That's why we must track ROAS closely and will work to keep it as high as possible. Now that we know what ROAS are, let's talk about how to improve it. The first thing that we always do is to audit the account. So let's take a look here. Let me show you an example ad account here. We're going to look at each campaign, check the ROAS column, and see which ones are performing well and which ones are not performing well. This is our baseline. Without this, we can't make any smart decisions. So here's what I mean. In this example, we're going to see here, one campaign is going to show a ROAS of 15x. This is incredible, 15.78. But look at this other campaign here. The ROAS is just 0.86. That means for every $100 spent, we're only getting $86 back. This campaign is losing money, so we need to address it immediately. To make this process easier, go into Google Ads and add the column. That's what we see right here, conversion value versus cost. Once you add this column, sort by ROAS from highest to lowest. If you're looking how to add it in, how we do it right here. Okay, and now once we add this column and we've sorted it from highest to lowest, we can see a clear picture of our top performing and our lowest performing campaign. Step one is always to identify what's working and what isn't. Now, once you've identified your low performing campaigns, you have to decide what to do with them. Ask yourself, are these campaigns targeting important product lines or just testing for some audiences? If they are critical campaigns, meaning they target products or services that you must sell, then we will work on improving them. If they're experimental or non-essential, pause them and focus on the better performers. Improving them could mean anything from testing new audiences, adding negative keywords, or just ad copy by restructuring ad groups. The first goal is always to stop the bleeding. We don't want to waste budget on campaigns that will never be profitable. Once we have that list, we can move on to the next step. This step is restructuring. Campaign restructuring is one of the most powerful levers for improving your ROAS. A well-structured campaign gives you control. So there are a few different ways that we can control our campaign. We can split brand versus non-brand campaigns, separate high margin and low margin products, or group cold versus warm audience. You can separate these profitable campaigns from unprofitable ones and manage your budget precisely. It also helps Google's algorithm learn faster because each campaign focuses on a single audience. There's many ways to restructure. The most common approach is to separate from brand versus non-brand. If you're selling well-known brands like Nike or Adidas, keep those terms in their own campaign. Non-brand campaigns should focus on generic keywords that are bringing new customers into your website. If you don't sell popular brands, but your store name is searched a lot, brand campaign for that. Keep those conversions separate from non-brand because the branded searches usually convert a lot better in our experience. Mixing them together truly hides the performance of your non-brand. But you can also split by profit margin. By putting high margin products into their own campaigns, you can bid more aggressively. Lower margin product get more conversational bids because you have less room for profits. This prevents your audience from spending too much on products that don't give a good return. Another option to split your campaign is by audience type, cold or warm. Cold audiences need more budget for awareness and education, versus warm audiences are people who have visited your site and engaged with your brand. After researching this, the next step is to track your conversion. Conversion tracking is the backbone of ROAS. If you're tracking wrong, your ROAS numbers will be wrong, and you might turn off campaigns that are actually profitable. If you only rely on GTM and front-end tracking, you're going to miss a lot of conversions that are happening offline. For example, phone orders or CRM-based sales would be missed in this case. That's why you need to set up offline conversion tracking. It pushes data back into Google Ads so you get the full picture of what's happening. You can use tools like Zapier to send data automatically, or you can just import offline conversions manually. You can eventually even use server-side targeting, which is becoming more common and gives better data accuracy. The more accurate your data is, the better Google's machine learning can optimize. Once tracking is set, move on to your bidding strategy. We suggest switching to smart bidding, specifically maximizing conversion value. This allows Google to automatically adjust bids in every auction to get you the most value for your money. When you have enough data, 30 to 50 conversions in 30 days, switch to target ROAS. This allows Google to automatically adjust your bids in every auction so you get the most value. You see here we have maximized conversion value and we have target ROAS. When you have enough data, 30 to 50 conversions in 30 days, switch to target ROAS bidding. Target ROAS tells Google exactly what return you want and helps keep your campaigns profitable. But here's the key. Don't set your target ROAS too high right away. If your campaign is currently at 4%, set the target for 450 to 500%. This gives Google room to learn without completely stopping all your traffic, because that could be really bad. Another tip. Avoid sudden changes. If you change budgets or bids drastically, you reset the learning phase and risk losing performance over weeks or days. You see right here, we're not going to set it any higher than 450 to 500 for 400. So your conversion value here, this is how you set it up. Make sure that you're not aiming too high right away. See here, 540 would be too high for a 400% optimization rate. If you change your budget or bids drastically, you reset the learning phase and you risk losing all the performance that you've had for the past days or weeks. If you need to change your budget, do it only in increments of 20 or 30% at a time. The same goes for bid changes. Make gradual moves and let the campaign re-stabilize before you're changing it again. Now, let's talk about shifting budgets between your campaign. This is one of the easiest ways to improve your ROAS. If campaign A has a 15x ROAS and campaign B has a 0.8x, move the budget away from campaign B and move it to campaign A. Many advertisers forget this step and keep wasting money on bad campaigns. Your goal is to maximize your budget on what's already working before testing out new things. Remember, this isn't an experiment. This is about making the most out of your money. Okay, now we are on to a big one. Feed optimization. This is especially important if you run an e-commerce campaign or performance max campaign like we do. Your feed contains all of your product. Optimizing it can dramatically improve your ROAS. Go into your listing groups and subdivide your product. You can split them into product type, categories, or even item IDs. This lets you see performance on a more granular level. Then, add in the ROAS column into your listing group. This is where you can analyze the data for at least 90 to 120 days. Don't just rely on the last 15 or 30 days, because you want a real general picture of what's going on, so you're not cutting products that might have just had a slower month. Once you have all of this data, now it is time to identify products that are consistently having a low ROAS. If a product has spent $96 over the past 3 months and has had almost no sales, that means that it's eating up your budget. You can exclude that product from the campaign, but double check before excluding. If it's an important product, try it in a separate test campaign first with new search terms, new creative, or a different bidding strategy. If that still doesn't work, then it's safe to exclude it. Repeat this for all of the products in your feed. When you remove your non-performers, the same budget is automatically redirected towards the products that are selling. This raises overall ROAS without increasing your spend. Do this regularly. We recommend doing it every month or at least every quarter, so that way your account stays optimized. It's important to see things like, are your products still eligible? Are there any issues? Otherwise, poor performance slowly drags down your account efficiency. So regularly checking in on anything is important. When analyzing products, look at multiple time ranges from 30 days, 90 days to 120 days. If a product is unprofitable across all of these time ranges, then you have a pretty clear sign that it can be paused. After you've excluded all of your poor performers, let the campaign run and watch all the results. Usually, you'll see an immediate improvement in your ROAS because the budget is now concentrated on your winners. At this stage, you're no longer waiting. At this stage, you're no longer wasting money. You can start scaling by increasing your budget slowly on top performing campaigns and projects. Make sure to keep monitoring your target ROAS performance. If campaigns consistently beat your goals, increase the target slightly to push even more efficient, but make sure to do it gradually and not all at once. Also monitor your CTR, your CPC, and your impression share. If anything like your CTR is dropping suddenly, refresh your ad copy or creative. Improving CTR will usually improve your ROAS too, because it's testing your audiences and keywords in separate campaigns. Make sure that you do not mix these tests with your proven performer. That way, tests won't pull down your ROAS if they fail. Remember, campaign learning takes some time, so avoid making too many changes too often, or you'll never really exit this learning phase. Patience is key when you're working with smart bidding strategies. It's not easy, but once you get a hang of it, it'll be worth it. Finally, we recommend that you keep a regular schedule for reviewing your account, weekly check-ins for budget pacing, as well as monthly reviews for deeper restructuring or feed optimization is essential to make sure your well-performing campaigns don't get dragged down. So to summarize everything, start by auditing your campaigns and finding your baseline. Then restructure by brand, margin, and audience. Then fix your conversion tracking with offline imports. Use smart bidding with max conversion value and target ROAS. Avoid all sudden changes and respect the learning phase. Reallocate your budget to the winners. And finally, optimize your product feed regularly. If you follow these steps consistently, your ROAS will improve steadily over time. So thanks for watching, guys. We hope to see you in the next video. Bye!